This video demonstrates how to create and manage functional screens. There are two ways to enter a new functional screen. One is by using your dashboard, and the second is by searching for a person here in the Create New Activity. We'll do both. From Create New Activity, you click on Functional Screen and click Add. And here you can search for the person you're creating a functional screen for. When you get their name returned in the results, you will click on the clipboard here to initiate the functional screen. You can also get to that list by using your dashboard. If I click here on the two, I can see the two people who are waiting for a functional screen. Jessica's is showing the clipboard here because we haven't started one for her yet. Bruce is not showing the clipboard because one has been started. So we'll show you one more way to access those. From the dashboard, if I click on Functional Screen in Progress, that's where I'll find the one for Bruce that's being done. From this list, I can simply click his name, and I'll be taken to the functional screen in progress. When you land on the functional screen page, you'll come to the activity log. This will show you everything that's happened for the person's record so far. From the activity log, I could cancel this functional screen, or I could add a comment. Comments are available to everyone who has access to his record. From this screen now, to continue with it, I could click Next, or I can use the left navigation bar. We walk through this section by section. The individual information bar will show you the basic information about him. Expanding this here will show the contact information that you currently have in the system. To update this, if it needs to change, you can go back to the intake dashboard and search for his intake and make the change there. The first question here is the type of functional screen. The type that you choose here will control what kind of attestation is required at the end. We're going to start with the initial functional screen. The target waiver group will automatically pull from what you entered in the intake screen, but you are allowed to override that here if you need to. One example of that could be a person who is receiving in-home supports and they have IHS chosen on their intake screen, but they're aging into adult services, so you need to pick DD. In this case, we'll leave it as DD. This first question here is required. It's required that you say yes. The day services and residential, these will be familiar to you as they currently are on the functional screen. Depending on what you select here, you may need to enter a certification. If you don't have an answer yet to these questions, you can pick NA, just like you can now. Everything with a red asterisk here is required. When we complete each section, you'll see a green check mark showing. Here we have the diagnosis information that was entered on the intake screen. You won't need to enter that again. It will automatically pull from that screen. If you need to make changes, you'll need to go back to the intake screen and make those changes. For this section, again, everything with a red asterisk is required. Same here. If you don't have a selection to make, you will have to pick none in order to continue. So we just carry on here and pick your choices. Some questions like transferring, if you make a certain selection, you'll need to say whether it's a one-person or a two-person lift. Once I've filled out all of the questions, I can click Next. Once I've completed some sections here, you can bounce around by clicking on the section that's already been completed if you need to review it. You can't go forward past the next section that you're on. So now here, continue with answering your questions. Some questions like this one here, depending on what you choose, will depend on what other questions are available. For example, you can't pick working full-time and then pick not working at the same time. However, they could work full-time and also volunteer. Again, these are all required. If we pick less than 24 hours for this question on supervision, you'll need to enter how many hours it is per day. In fields like this, you'll enter just a number. We wouldn't type in 2 hours per day. We would just type a 2. And we're almost done here. When we get to the last section here, this is the attestation section. The initial functional screen needs to be conducted by a clinician, and this attestation page is going to require different information than it would for a renewal. This question about an external clinician means that, so if I'm the nurse and I work for the area agency, I have a login and I'm logged in as myself filling this out, then I am not external. I can type my name here and attest that I filled this form out and acknowledge that it's accurate. All I need to do is put my name in here and click next. If I don't work for the area agency, or if I'm a doctor that's external and I didn't fill this out, say another doctor filled it out and signed it, and you have an administrator who just sat down and typed it into the system. If that's the case, then we need to upload a signed signature page from that clinician stating that they conducted the review. In this case, I'm going to proceed as though I'm a staff member. And I'm attesting here that I'm the one who conducted the functional screen. The mandatory attachment for all functional screens is the eligibility letter. This is the letter that you sent out to the family when you notified them of the eligibility status. You can also upload additional documentation here. There's also a means to upload this documentation elsewhere, so if you forget to do it here, you can always do it later. Once I've signed and uploaded my document, I can click Submit. When you submit the functional screen, a PDF version is created and BDS will see that in near real time. BDS will see on their dashboard. BDS will see on their dashboard that they have a new level of care to review. And you will see on your dashboard that you have a person who's awaiting level of care determination. If I click on this, I can see the list of people I'm waiting for. Thank you.